What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This your boy Big Dog Barking, straight out of Memphis 10. And let me welcome y'all back to Sports Zone TV, where we talk about relationships, sports, and everything in between. So, as a lot of y'all already know, there was a mass shooting in Georgia. Little 14-year-old boy went in there with a AR style weapon and unalived four people, two children, two teachers, and injured several others. And this young man was already on the FBI watch list from last year when he made some threats online about doing the school shooting. Now, from my understanding, is that the FBI confronted him and his people and try to see what was going on with him, but they put him on the watch list because like you can't make threats like that and expect for the government not to see about you. You know what I'm saying? So when it gets down to his daddy got guns all around the house, and I was doing my own deduction, my own thinking, and all that right there. Because when I first heard it, I was like, okay, 14. What's going on? Then I saw the name. I was like, well, I don't know too many of us that has that name. So I'm already doing my deductive reasoning. So I was like, okay, either he's from a single parent household where the mother is having a hard time trying to raise him because he's 14, and I already know what 14-year-old boys are doing. You know what I'm saying? And it was like either she's a single mama trying to do everything she can, or he's in a dual parent household, or he raised by his father and his father like guns. So come to find out, the latter. His daddy got plenty of guns. So when the FBI came to confront them about it, there was a lot of guns around the house, and he said they were for hunting. Okay, no harm, no foul so far. And then I also heard that the little boy was asking the adults in his family to get him some mental health help. And I don't have a problem with that. It's like if my son, my daughter feel like they need to go get some help because of mental problems, I will be the first to take them wherever they need to go to get the help they feel like they need it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against that. Because, in our community and how we brought up is like, we always got to turn it over to God or whatever the case may be. You don't want everybody in your problem, but you ain't got no problem telling the world, telling the community about the issues going on inside your house. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own. We ain't even on that right now. So again, the little boy is looking for somebody. He's looking for the adults in his family to help him. He feel like he needs help with his mental. Why ain't none of y'all help that young boy out? Why none of y'all didn't help this young man out and get him to the help that he's craving, that he's crying out to y'all about? He's asking y'all to help him. He feel like something wrong with him mentally. And yet still nobody took him seriously. But it was serious enough for whatever he was doing for the FBI to get involved and put him on the watch list. So as I'm continuing to hear the details of the story, your father, after hearing this, after being confronted by the FBI, after hearing you saying you need help for your mental problems, excuse me, for some strange reason, you decided to go buy this boy an AR-15 or something like an AR-15. Sir, why? Why? Why would you buy a child that feels like something's wrong with him, crying out to you and other people in his family to help him out, and nobody's taking this boy seriously? The FBI done got into your business, put him on the watch list, and you still don't think anything's wrong with him. Until he goes up to the school, unalives four people, injures several others, and you get charged for 8 counts of cruelty to children, 2 counts of second degree. I forgot what else they charging you with. Bruh, that was on you. A lot of this could have been avoided if you would have not bought that boy, a 14-year-old boy, an AR-15 for Christmas, birthday, whatever the case may be. That was on you, bruh. That was on you putting a weapon in the child's hand that's saying something wrong with him up here. That's on you. So I don't feel sorry for nothing that they charging you with because you deserve it. You should have went and got that boy some help instead of trying to get him a gun. Now that I got that out the way, of course, we have an election going on, and I said to myself, I'm like, they're gonna use this as a talking point. Some people pro guns and some people against guns. So I heard Kamala Harris talk about it, and she's more on the lines of they don't need the officers in the schools, or they don't feel like the teachers need to have weapons on them or whatever the case may be. And I hear you. Trust me, I hear you. But it was an officer in the school that confronted the boy and stopped something that could have got a whole lot worse. If that officer wasn't in that school, how bad could that really have gotten? How bad could that really have gotten? Well, you have a lot of parents and a lot of people in politics or whatever the case may be fighting for, we don't need to arm the teachers. We don't need to have officers in the school and all that. I'm in Memphis. And so the first week of school, the SROs was talking about having a strike because they felt like they weren't getting paid enough for all the things they do across the whole Shelby County district. Every school in Shelby County. And guess what? They got their money. Because they are required to protect. They're in there for a reason. They are protecting these children. They're protecting these teachers and administrators inside these buildings, not only from inside, where children will sneak in weapons and all that right there because of bullies and teachers say something they don't like or whatever the case may be, but also from the outside. Now I know a lot of y'all will sit there and say, I don't believe that, but bro, you not going to school right now. You're a parent. And you see it on the local news, your local news, depending on what city you stay in. This is a city, outside of Atlanta, 50 miles outside of Atlanta. And it's going on. Like a lot of these mass shooters, they don't happen in school. They don't happen in major cities. I ain't never seen a mass shooting in Memphis or St. Louis or Atlanta or Houston or Dallas, or I seen one in Miami. But when you talking about having these officers in these schools and saying that you shouldn't have these officers in the schools because it's sending some type of message that it's violent or whatever the case may be, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where y'all let these kids be violent. You want to be their friends. You don't want to be their parents. You don't want to be their mama. You don't want to be their daddy. And then you have laws to where if they do anything, you literally can be charged for whatever your child doing. You literally can go to jail if your child don't go to school. I know down here in my city, they trying to pass laws now to where if your child get caught at a certain time, if your child do this, that, and the third, they gonna hold you accountable for that. Even if you ain't did nothing, even if your child unruly, they gonna hold you accountable for your child doing this, that, and the third. So we living in a society where y'all let these kids run wild. Ain't no discipline. Ain't no discipline. Now the thing I have to say to Ms. Kamala Harris and those that think like Kamala Harris is you don't want the teachers to have weapons. You don't want officers in the schools, but yet and still you got protection. You got protection. You have a staff around you that's to protect you, to make sure you keep your life as long as possible. You have people protecting you. I don't see you trying to say you don't need your Secret Service agents. For all the parents that saying that they don't feel comfortable with their kids going to schools if the teachers armed, ain't you got a gun? Don't you have a gun? Whether you bought it at the gun store, whether you bought it off the street, you might got a gun, might got several guns. You ain't got no problem having your straps. You ain't got no problem having your ARs and Mac 90s or whatever you toting. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no problem toting what you toting, but you don't want the teachers to have a gun. And I know what it is. It's like some of y'all think that you know your child, what is your son, your daughter, you know how they is. You know they with it. You know they with something. And you feel like you can't handle them. You try to do the best you can as a parent, but you want to be more friend than parent. And you send them out in the world, you already know how they act when they with you. So you send them out in the world, let them do their thing. And you know some of them violent. Some of them bipolar, whatever the case may be. Some of them got issues. And you know this. And you trying not to get the help they need for whatever reasons. And you know yourself that your son, your daughter might spaz out on a teacher, on the principal, on the gym teacher, a coach, a guidance counselor, somebody at their job. You know this. You know this. And the thing is that if your son, your daughter go off on one of them teachers and the teacher got a gun, there's a good opportunity, there's a good chance that your child can get hit. Now, I'm not wishing that on no child. But you can see now in different schools that these kids want to fight teachers. They don't have a problem putting their hands up with no teacher. And some of these boys, some of these girls, they fighting, they jacking. They strong. Teenagers, they strong. And you don't feel sorry for the teachers they whoop. You don't feel sorry for the football coach they whoop. You don't feel sorry for the guidance counselor they whoop. You don't feel sorry for them until they press charges on them. And then you want to say, oh, he ain't nothing but a baby, he ain't nothing but a teenager and all that right there. But yeah, it's still your teenager causing problems. Your teenager violence. Your teenager ain't got no problem doing things to hurt people. See, when they get one up on your son, when they get one up on your daughter, now your daughter and your son ain't nothing but children, ain't nothing but babies. But when your kids get a one up on a coach, a guidance counselor or something like that, they got what they deserve. That's how you feel. So that's one of the main reasons why y'all don't want teachers to have weapons. That's one of the main reasons why y'all don't want the officers in school, because y'all want y'all kids to be able to whoop people. Because you feel like you can whoop Memphis. You feel like you can whoop Atlanta. You feel like you can whoop St. Louis. And you breed that into your kids to make them feel like they can whoop whoever they want to whoop. But you also putting that victim mentality into them too. Is that if you don't win, you get to play victim. That's all this really is. You want to send your kids to school, let them act how they want to act with other adults. And if they get into an altercation, you believe you put money on your child to win. That's how you raise them. But the minute your child lose, whether they done got whooped by a teacher or whether they done got a hot one and put in their ass, now they the victims. Let's stop this. Raise your kids correctly. If your child needs mental help, go get the help that child needs. If your child asking you to get help, take that child seriously. Take that child seriously. Go get the help that child feel like they need. Quit telling your kids that they can do what they want to do and carry that into these schools and these jobs, these churches, whatever the case may be, where they act a fool and feel like they can do what they want to do until they get beat, and then they want to be the victim. Stop that. All we doing is setting the precedent for weak men, over masculine women. All of them want to play bad guy, good guy at the same time. Holding no accountability for nothing they do. And they get it from their mom and their dad. They get it from their mom and dad. See, me, myself, I'm a victim. I'm a product of the hood. I'm a product of a single parent household. I was raised by women. But look at my kids. I got one that just graduated college, got a good paying job. I got one on their way to college. Top 5 in his class. I could have easily showed my kids how to be ratchet, how to be hood, and stood by that because that's what I knew growing up. But I decided to give them a better chance at life. I could have easily promoted all the negatives and watched my daughter become what she was going to become, a 304, or watch my son become a criminal. I could have easily promoted that negativity to them and let them grow up to be however they're going to be. Instead of that, I promote nothing but positive around them. And that's why they in the position they in. And I love every minute of it. So for all y'all parents that ain't taking y'all kids seriously or just want to be friends with your kids, want to spoil them just because you want them to have everything you didn't have growing up, you don't want to whoop them because you got whoopers and all that right there, fine, cool, do what you do. Just don't be surprised when them laws come out there and do some damage to them. Own up to that. Own up to that because you taught them that. Own up to that. And realize your son and your daughter behind them bars because of some things you taught them. Your son and daughter in that box 6 feet under because of some things you taught them. There's no time to cry and talking about you miss your child and putting them on t-shirts and all that right there because trust and believe. Some of that stuff could have been avoided if you would have put that in their head a long time ago. Instead of them trying to make them hood, real, gangster, whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, that Georgia shooting could have been avoided if you would have thought more about your child's mental health than having a pistol in his hand. So anyway, that's my few minutes of conversation. You know what I'm saying? This Big Dog Barking for Sports Zone TV. Straight out of Memphis. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And I'm going to get up with y'all good people at another time. I'll holler at you.